A university professor is being petitioned to be held in contempt of court for exposing police brutality by releasing footage of abusive behavior. Now, here are the details. We're not gonna show you this video. I don't even know if we have it because of the nature of the video. But Thomas Frampton, he's an associate professor of law at the University of Virginia. He posted a video to YouTube of 23-year-old Clarence Green and his 16-year-old brother to draw attention to their case. Now, what happened in their case? What was the treatment of cops toward these two individuals? Well, during a routine traffic stop, police begin questioning the Green brothers after they allegedly smelled marijuana. According to body camera footage, the police then take the boys out of their car and strip search them just in broad daylight, in front of everyone. One officer first pulls down Green's pants and underwear, exposing his genitals in public, and then does the same to Green's 16-year-old brother. He's a minor, so strip searching a minor in broad daylight over nonsense like, oh, we think we smell marijuana. I mean, obviously this is abusive behavior.
Yeah.
So during the incident, police can be heard on the body cam footage saying, quote, "If you don't shut the F up, I'm going to come in and F you up." At one point, the boys tell the officers they can't strip search them in public, and one cop responds, "I can." Now, what's the follow-up to this story? The professor posts the video on YouTube, hoping to draw attention to this abusive behavior. He wants to change the abusive behavior, but instead, he gets in trouble for posting the video. Now, the parish attorney's office for East Baton Rouge has petitioned the court to hold Frampton in contempt for disobeying the court, and a judge has called for the professor to appear for a hearing. So the body camera footage of the strip search, and by the way, home entry as well, which occurred on January 1st of 2020, had already been made public and was shared last month. But prosecutors are actually using a caveat in the law in order to petition Frampton. Prosecutors are pointing to a Louisiana law specifically that prohibits sharing information relevant to a case in the juvenile delinquency court. But the 16-year-old was never even charged with a crime. Frampton received his notice from prosecutors the same day the police department held a press conference regarding the video. So I have more on this story, John, but I wanted to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts are negative. Every part of this is absolutely horrible. So you can just strip search a 16-year-old?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
A minor. You can pull his pants and underwear down in broad daylight, exposing a minor's genitals to the public.
When they didn't do anything.
When he didn't do anything,
so could he just go around all day just doing this? There's no oversight. You don't have to have good cause if you made a horrible mistake. First of all, doing it at all, but then let's imagine that you could do it to an individual, that you did it to this one when it wasn't merited. There's no discipline for that, so he can just go out tomorrow and do it again. Should Matt Gaetz have become a cop? Would that have been a better path for him considering his preferences?
Oh, yeah,
it's absolutely insane, let alone that it's for marijuana. It's not like we think you're smuggling uranium. Like strip searching the 16-year-old, let alone a 23-year-old, is worse than literally everything else having to do with marijuana in the country happening right now. And this is what we get when you make something that there's no reason for it to be illegal. You then create a system where the worst people in that system, like this cop, can just do whatever they want. And when the cop, and the threat of violence, every bit of this is horrible and also exactly what we already know about the cops. And this is supposed to be reformed. That cop, we're supposed to give him a training session, and then he'll be better, because he'll care about teens' privacy and he won't use the threat of violence to force compliance in people he doesn't respect. Maybe if we spend a bit more money on training, he'll be a better human.
You know, the thing that also stands out about this story is clearly the court's actions, right? So, and it gives you a sense of just how much our justice system, along with policing, needs to be reformed. Because obviously the court isn't separate from the issue we're experiencing with abusive policing. The court has decided to punish the professor as opposed to the actual cops who engaged in this abusive behavior, which shows you just that corrupting relationship between prosecutors and cops, courtrooms and cops, judges and cops. You get what I'm saying?
Is there, like, I understand this is gonna be a loose thing, but like, if you're a professor and you're presented with evidence that a kid is being sexually assaulted and you just don't do anything about it, wouldn't you get in trouble for that? Like, that's a sexual assault that we just saw. It's a cop that's allowed to sexually assault somebody.
But that's the whole thing.
How are you not obligated to show that to people?
The court is arguing that the professor did the wrong thing because by posting that video, he revealed the identity of a minor. That's the argument here. Now, much of this was already public, right? He was just trying to draw more attention to it so something could be done about the abusive police behavior. But if the court is so concerned about the privacy rights of minors, are you not concerned about the, I don't know, fact that this minor had his underwear pulled down in broad daylight, exposing his genitals to the public?
Yeah.
I mean, how insane is this story?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolute craziness.
I don't want to cut off your conclusion, but supposedly now they're going to investigate it.
Yeah.
So the professor was right to do it then, right? Because now they're finally gonna look into it. They probably still won't do anything, but like they weren't going to. They were not going to do anything, and now they were. It seems like the professor was pretty smart, actually, in doing this.
Well, the case was dismissed and the victim's family received a settlement of $35,000. Frampton believes, that's the professor, that the state is harassing him for drawing attention to the police misconduct because then, the state's forced to actually do something about it. And he says to Vice News, it reflects their efforts to continue supporting impunity for others who engage in wrongdoing. The point here is to harass and to tax people for speaking up and for speaking out. And so at no point, by the way, after the incident in January 2020, did the cops go on administrative leave. They continued to receive pay. There was no real investigation. And with the expose of this story, the police department now says that they're conducting an investigation into the officers. But again, my guess is it'll be just like every other internal investigation in local police departments, which usually results in nothing.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.